Welcome to episode number 57 of the Let's Discuss Gaming podcast. I am your host, Triple J. Joining me is my co-host, Dr. Games101.
Hello, people.
And we got a lot of things, we got a lot of stories to talk about, so I say we get right into it.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Alright, first story coming up. Let me get rid of this advertisement. Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals delayed to 2023. Night School Studio has delayed Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals. Originally set to release this year, Oxenfree 2 will now debut sometime in 2023. The team didn't mention a specific window, however, so as for when in 2023, that remains unknown. It could be just a month or two into the new year, or 6 months into the new year. Only time will tell. As for why, Night School Studio says it needs more time to make the sequel truly special and to add more localizations. Here's the studio's full statement on the delay. We owe it to our amazing community to make Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals the best game it can possibly be. Seeing your fan art, reading your excited comments, and connecting with you fuels our ambition to make this our best game yet. To make Oxenfree 2 truly special and add more localizations, we're moving our release window to 2023. Thank you for your patience, support, and understanding. We can't wait to share the game with you. Stay tuned. It hits PS5, PS4, Switch, PC sometime in 2023. Not Xbox this time. So, did you play the first Oxenfree?
I just downloaded earlier today. I think it's going to be off the Game Pass in a few days, right?
I got it from Games with Gold.
Oh, okay, because I've heard the game for many weeks, if not months now, because Oxenfree 2 supposed to come out sometime this year. Well, like you said, it's going to push until 2023 of next year. And surprisingly, Netflix broadcasted their movie version of Oxenfree on their platform as well. So they were playing that one day as well. But right now, it looks good. I saw some gameplay of it, the trailer and all. I don't have much to say about it necessarily, but it looks like a good game to play.
Yeah, I really don't have much to say about it myself because I haven't seen the trailer, but I have played the first game all the way through.
Okay.
So it's I liked it. Took about 6 hours to complete, so it's a short game, not something you're going to be stuck on for many days, unless you play it like 10 minutes at a time. And it's kind of weird because it's like alternate realities and like deja vu. That's what the first Oxenfree was. Mm-hmm. And like going through time loops and stuff. And that was basically what Oxenfree was. Expecting more of the same from Oxenfree 2. I mean, since I'm assuming this is an indie game from the studio, it's kind of like text games in the 80s and early 90s. You're not going to be impressed with graphics, you're not going to be impressed with sound, you're not going to be impressed in controls. It's all going to be about the story they tell.
Oh, yeah.
Oxenfree, if I remember correctly, it kind of ended on a cliffhanger, because, I think, the end of the game went, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it went back to, right before the game began. And, that's kind of like the time travel. But, yeah, so Oxenfree 2... I'm interested to see what they do again, but we'll have to wait till sometime in 2023 when the game comes out. Unfortunately, as far as we know, it's not going to be on Xbox this time, though.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Let's look at put it on Netflix as they did with the first one. That looks interesting to play on the Netflix game, or the Netflix platform, I should say. It's kind of strange though that Netflix is now trying to incorporate their platform for gaming now. And did that with Black Mirror the other year. So, I played that game too, the Black Mirror game off Netflix.
Didn't you play that earlier today?
No. What I'm referring to is the one called Black Mirror. It's like a Netflix game version of sorts. And I played that one for about 5 minutes of it because there was a lot to choose from every few seconds. So. I was like, no, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to wait until I get time off from work and school at the same time, and then take it from there. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Next story. Let me get rid of that. Silent Hill, the short message rated in South Korea. Silent Hill, the short message, has been rated by South Korea's game rating committee, and it's possible this is a new unannounced Silent Hill game. This news comes by way of Video Game Chronicle, which reported that the rating committee rated Silent Hill, the short message, today. However, the rating did not include any platforms, so it's unclear where this game might land if it actually ends up being a real title. In fact, the rating features little else other than listing Unania as its publisher. As VGC notes, this company regularly publishes Konami games in South Korea. The publication also notes that Silent Hill, the short message, might be related to one of various Silent Hill projects reportedly in the works at multiple different studios. VGC reported in February that Konami is planning a revival of the Silent Hill series, amidst other reports stating that Silent Hill 2 remake is in development. While waiting to hopefully learn more about Silent Hill, the short message, you can read about the Silent Hill creator Kichiro Toyama's new game, Slitterhead. So, what do you think of a new Silent Hill game, and would you be interested in a Silent Hill remake of, like, Silent Hill 2?
Well, I will admit this, after 20 plus years of Silent Hill being around, I never played it directly and fully once in my life, per se.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, it was either Resident Evil or Silent Hill. And I chose Resident Evil more than Silent Hill most times, if not. And, I wish I could have done equally played both of these games, Resident Evil and Silent Hill, but, it's a give and take, right? So, but I just bought the DVD of the first Silent Hill movie that came out back in 2006, so I want to see that sometime this week and hopefully, if not next week, and take it from there. There's also another sequel to the movie Silent Hill in 2012, so I'm going to buy that hopefully next month. In the meantime, it's Halloween, so the month of Halloween in a sense, so might as well watch Silent Hill sooner or later this month.
I didn't know there were Silent Hill movies. I thought it was just a game series.
Oh no, there was 2 movies so far. The one I got is 2006, and I think I have it here somewhere. My DVD collection here. I'm not sure exactly. Oh, there it is. Here it is, guys. So this is the movie, the first movie, Silent Hill. Still wrapped in plastic, you can tell. So, yeah. So I still...
Like, many of you, have you ever watched it, or...?
Yeah, I haven't got to watch it. Just got the game. You got the movie back a few days ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got it on Amazon for about $6, so...
Not bad.
Very good, yes. So,
unfortunately, did you ever play Silent Hill 2? Because I heard, like, that's usually the best in the series.
Never played any of the Silent Hill games, my friend.
Okay, I never played Silent Hill. I think maybe the original I'd played. I did play a little bit of Silent Hill Downpour, which was, I think, more of a spin-off than anything.
Okay.
But, yeah, and I maybe played a little bit of the original. Don't really remember it. I did think it was a shame that they shut down PT. People even kept the demo even after the game was canceled. So I know there's a big fan base that would want it, and hopefully Konami. I know Konami's not exactly a studio that we can trust nowadays because of the moves they've made.
If you're referring to Sony, right? You said Sony, right?
Well, Konami, I think, owns Silent. I think Konami's the developer.
Oh, Konami. Okay, yeah. Konami did some shady shit with Kojima, so... I'm sure you heard about that hashtag fuck Konami, right? So, yeah, Kojima... I mean, he didn't play his hand directly, obviously, but whatever his influences was towards that company of Konami, he made a big impact on that company for decades until, 10 years ago when he left the company, so...
Yeah, so, I mean, like I said, Konami, they're kind of like... they were doing what Sega was doing recently. They were the first ones to lose trust from its fan base, that I remember anyway. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I mean, if they're remaking Silent Hill 2, that sounds great. And if they're remaking a new game, that also sounds awesome. I'm just hoping they're giving their fans what they want.
Oh yes.
And it's not going to be some cheap pachinko game or
pachinko machines. Yes.
yeah. Now you can bring the pachinko a gaming experience home. But don't worry, it's a Silent Hill pachinko machine. And then people head down to Konami with torches and pitchforks.
Yes.
Ready to move on, or
such an end to the end? Yep, I'm ready.
All right.
Oh, this will be a good one.
Next one. U.S. Homeland Security will spend $700,000 to investigate radicalization through video games. The initial work will lean towards white nationalism and white supremacy. The United States Department of Homeland Security has awarded a nearly $700,000 grant to terrorism and security researchers to investigate radicalization through video games. As reported by Vice, the funds are headed to Middlebury's Institute Center on Terrorism, Extremism, and Counterterrorism, CTEC. The nonprofit organization Take This and a company looking to curb toxic online behavior called Logically. It's funny, for a group that has logic in its name, they obviously have none. Over the past decade, video games have increasingly become local points of social activity and identity creation for adolescents and young adults. Relationships made and fostered within game ecosystems routinely cross over into the real world and are impactful parts of local communities, the grant announcement on the DHS website said. Correspondingly, extremists have used video games and targeted video game communities for activities ranging from propaganda creation to terrorist mobilization and training. So apparently Facebook having a Black Dogs Matter and Antifa page is okay. One of the goals of this new project is to develop a set of best practices and centralized resources for monitoring and evaluation of extremist activities, as well as a series of training workshops for the monitoring, detection, and prevention of extremist exploitation in gaming spaces for community managers, multiplayer designers, lore developers, mechanics designers, and trust and safety professionals. The announcement notes that video game studios of all sizes, in many cases, are not fully educated on how these extremists may try to exploit their game in an effort to radicalize the players. While nationalists have unfortunately found a footing in this space, as there have been groups on Steam who were openly espousing neo-Nazi beliefs and worshipping school shooters in the past. Nice they have no examples. Steam has attempted to remove these groups, but the people behind this grant want to go further. Of course they do. Take This. Dr. Rachel Cowart and CTEC's Alex Newhouse shared some of their early findings at this year's Game Developer Conference, and it confirms that the initial focus will lean towards white nationalism and white supremacy, because like I said, Black Dogs Matter is not a problem. Hopefully their efforts will make some lasting changes in this industry and beyond. This effort comes at a time following the racially motivated mass shooting in Buffalo, New York that was broadcasted on Twitch and saw 10 people killed and 3 more injured. Yeah. So apparently, if you use Twitch, you must be an extremist, white supremacist.
And if you have Xbox Live, then you're like a radical of sorts, trying to recruit people for your
or a neo-Nazi, apparently. You want to tear this article apart first, or you want me to go?
I think it's my baby at first, but this is your baby too. So it's kind of like you go for torturing the soul at heart. So.
So you want me to go first?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. You're starting to answer questions like Fraser Crane. like we eventually get to the answer, but we go the long, scenic route. Anyway, so apparently people still haven't learned their lesson from the 90s. People still haven't learned that if video games drive you to do something, that person had a mental problem. And we talked about this a little bit on Thursday after we finished Shredder's Revenge. Since the late 90s, 98 I think was the year of Columbine. Mm-hmm. There were 6 mass shootings that you can name in the last 24 years.
I would expect 10, but that's still a conservative number.
Well, we only named 6.
Okay, yeah.
Between the two of us. And you even brought up a couple that I've forgotten. So I don't really think so. With 6 in 2.5 decades, I really don't see gaming being a problem. And if and the thing is, with these online accounts, most people have to be a teenager before they even get online anyway. I know Switch might be different, but they're not investigating Switch anyway. So it's most people are online when they're at least a teenager or older, a young teenager or older, and now they're saying, this is a place where people can be radicalized. Excuse me, have you seen Twitter? Have you seen Facebook? Have you seen Reddit? Have you seen other message boards where this actually goes on?
Oh yeah.
but yet you gotta spend $700,000 of taxpayer money to investigate something that's been under scrutiny since the 1990s. Mm-hmm. If you remember, I showed you when I was in New York the Dangerous Games documentary about Night Trap.
Right.
How everyone was saying, it's a plot to kill and force college women, and it's like, no, the object of the player is to save the women.
And Congressman John Lieber led the charge in trying to take down the gaming content of sorts. So.
Yeah. So I mean, and the thing is, they were wrong then. This is wrong now. This is more. And this is also going to be a big nothing burger, which is surprise what the government's best at.
Yeah.
So I mean, radicalization through video games. Where have we heard this before?
I know, right?
I mean, look how many games were censored just because they were too extreme. Manhunt, anyone? Mortal Kombat couldn't have blood in it at first because of parents. I mean, and that. So I mean, it's kind of like you're going through the same argument. But how many generations of gamers have there been since you've been giving us these arguments? And yes, there's big gaming communities, but don't tell me that everyone's getting huddled together. I'll show you a Call of Duty Xbox 360 lobby from the year 2010. 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, you'll be crying from all the insults you hear going through that chat room. So, I mean...
a lot of trash talking, my friends. That's all it is.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's... Yeah, but these people, They see an anthill and they think you got an infestation.
And it's interesting too. Speaking of radicalization, there's been like not copycats, but there's been instances where one incident actually for the GTA Vice City in regards to that game, someone tried to carjack a car because of the video game itself, and he was like 16 at the time, not 15. So it's kind of like that's just that one exception among how many cases out there in the United States that are. They're not really considered to be a problem among society at large. Like, just that one person trying to hijack a car because he played too much of Vice City, the game. But that's about it. That's all we can think of. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, that's a rare exception. A very rare exception.
That's one person. I mean, they even covered that, I think, in Game Informer. Or, I think it was Game Informer. Mm-hmm. And the person wrote to the Game Informer staff... No. The person wrote about it in a to a Game Informer staff... And the Game Informer staff was like, I'd like to see that guy who tried to do Grand Theft Auto Vice City in real life. I'd like to see him try to play Blitzball from Final Fantasy in real life.
He's underwater and shit.
Yeah, good. So good luck.
Holding your breath for minutes and hours on end.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's the fact that we don't say, hey, this person has a mental problem. Or if you wanted to look into bullying, that would even be a better aim. But no, we gotta waste time on a battle that they've lost since the 90s.
Oh yeah.
You can go.
Well, you cover a lot of things about the radicalization of video games because it's not 100% there per se. Like, yes, there are supposedly quote unquote hate groups, but they're usually like what you call them clans, you call them like groups that are like just there for a few days to a few weeks at a time, and they get disbanded after a while. That's it. They move on with their lives. I took part in a clan called the Yoshi Clan on the Alien vs Predator 2 video game. You want to call us radicals for folks on that one game to play a lot of violence and gore? That don't make any sense. And the leader of that group, Yoshi Clan, he was not there for a few months. So what are you trying to say, that there's a leader going on, or leaders trying to recruit members like crazy and start this radical movement and take over the government, whatever? I mean, it sounds like a very ideal, honorable purpose at first in life. You want to better the betterment of mankind through like get rid of like hostile governments. But in today's world, it's all about the games. It's all about trash talking. It's about having a good time, smoking weed, eating your potato chips, eating your Mountain Dew Doritos, and having a good time. Now, if you want to radicalize people, you might as well go to Islam's, what's it called? Not Mecca per se, but somewhere in the Middle East, just to see how radicalized they get over there. And that doesn't include video games most of the time. It's an add-on to the fact, yes, you now chat anonymously to other people online, obviously. But that's that one part of the world that's been going on for thousands of years of their wars and aggressions against other groups. So it's kind of like, who are you fooling? United States government. So it's a nothing burger to a great extent. I mean, if you want to include me as being radical, whatever, because I played 15 years of Xbox Live and telling the truth about politics and fluoride in the water and what other serious topics are out there. That's just a typical political conundrum in our society. It's just a constant debate about what's this, what's that, and what versus this versus that. So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah. So again, it's just the government wasting more money, trying to tackle a problem they know nothing about. And honestly, it's kind of like an example from The Simpsons when Lisa was testing. Again, my knowledge of the current Simpsons is not that great. All my references of The Simpsons are from years ago. Mm-hmm. But there was one time where Lisa was testing if her brother was dumber than a rat, and like the rat touched a piece of cheese, and the rat got electrocuted or shocked, so the rat wouldn't try it again. Then Lisa electrified like something like candy. Bart tried to grab it. He got shocked. Then he tried to grab it again and got shocked again. Then he tried to grab it again, got shocked again. The government is Bart, trying again and again, expecting a different result.
Insanity.
Yeah. Ready to move on?
Danny insane was the government, but I hope to goodness to earth that over the next couple of decades, because obviously, the baby boomers going to be retired soon altogether, and we Generation X, Y, and Z people, we're going to take over society at large of its responsibilities. So let's say one of us in a network of friends go into government, whether it's be president of the United States or a congressman or a city councilman in New York City, whatever, as small as or local as that. That would be great to have gamers in our government to understand what the travesties or the hardships of what the country went through. But that's about it. It's just that they're not going to enforce laws saying that you can't play certain games, or if you try to play this game, you have to be 18 over and stuff like that. And that's what going on since the 1990s. Like you said, Triple J. And I hope that the newer politicians who are gamers sooner or later will be, that'll be a great addition to having a bigger say in our government. And that'll be a great addition too. But other than that, nothing radical about here. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, so bottom line, just wish the government would actually understand something if they're going to investigate it, but they go in complete blinders on.
Oh yeah.
And also I'm just tired of hearing about it because, like I said, I bring up Manhunt, I bring up Mortal Kombat. We've been dealing with this since the Sega Genesis, Sega CD days. And we're kind of tired of hearing about it.
And if I could say something too, I never really mentioned this to you directly, Triple J directly, as well as publicly especially, but I was reported by the Department of Homeland Security 2 times because I shared information from a newspaper from 2010, and the year was 2010, give or take, and that's what happened after the fact. Like whatever I shared on the internet was very new at the time to most people out there. And yes, I'm not the only one sharing it, but there are people out there who are that ignorant enough and that stupid enough to believe that I'm some sort of this radical person because I read a newspaper or I read a book from 20 years ago. This has been mentioned for years, for decades, about what's going on in our country. And I don't like the fact that, as a gamer, to be considered to be a radical because of what I read a newspaper from 10 years ago, and you're going to use it against me in the court of law. Does that sound rational? That's because we as a people, we have to be more educated than that. That's how it's come down to. But until then, it's just going to be another typical, Saturday. So,
ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Next. The era of $70 games truly begins this fall. Some of the biggest games coming out this year, like Gotham Knights and Modern Warfare 2, will cost more than $60. The year is wrapping up, and that means we're nearing the busiest time for video game releases. And even though COVID has thrown a wrench in the entire industry and led to numerous delays, a few big games are still launching in the next few weeks. But if you want to enjoy them, you'll need to fork over $70 or more as publishers begin transitioning into a new, more expensive era of gaming. Video games becoming more expensive isn't entirely surprising, since at least 2020, companies like Sony have made it clear that moving forward, game prices would be going up from $60 to $70, but it's still worth noting, as many big games this year released at $60 or less, that a majority of the biggest games coming out this fall and early into next year will now cost more, even on older consoles. Here are all the games launching in the next few months that will cost $70 or more. In October, Gotham Knights on the 25th, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remake on October 28th. For November, God of War Ragnarok on PS5. In December, the Callisto Protocol for PS5 and Xbox Series. In January, Forspoken. In February, Dead Island 2, Hogwarts Legacy, and Wild Hearts. And in March, Skull and Bones. There are various reasons for these increased prices, from inflation to more expensive and longer development cycles to good old-fashioned greed. Whatever the reasons behind the price increase, it seems to be here to stay, and it's also becoming clear that publishers aren't interested in offering up free next-gen upgrades anymore, or lower prices on PS4 and Xbox One versions. Some games listed above, like Call of Duty and Dead Island 2, are charging $70 regardless if you are playing on PS4 or PS5. While I understand that developing and publishing video games is a very expensive process, it's hard to stomach these price increases when games seem to be filled with more than ever with microtransactions and other ways to siphon away players' dollars long after the initial purchase. Some might assume that the human developers working on these games will get more money, but that's also highly unlikely, especially in an industry with a long history of exploiting its workers and which still in 2022 has almost no labor unions. Unfortunately, for folks who can't afford to routinely spend $70 or more on a single game, this seems to be the new normal moving forward as Sony, Ubisoft, and other publishers commit to the price increase. In a time when Game Pass has become incredibly popular and free-to-play hits like Fortnite and Genshin Impact continue to dominate the world, it seems like the worst time to ask people to plop down yet another $10. For a lot of gamers, it might be too much too fast, especially with more affordable alternatives like game streaming or monthly subscription plans available than ever before. What do you think of this, of us finally stepping into the $70 price tag era of new games?
Well, it's I wouldn't say it's justified 100% all the way through, but it's justified if it's of inflation. And obviously, to those who are older than 30 years old, let's see that trend for the last 30 years now, game prices have always been going up since 1990s, especially. And back in the 1990s, the games were worth about $50 for the brand new Super Nintendo games, PlayStation games, etc., etc. By the 2010s or 2000s, it was around $60, $65 with tax. And that's like the games like, Grand Theft Auto 3 or perhaps Max Payne 2, stuff like that. But it's all about the development cycle. It's all about the intricacies of the game, how to make these games has gone on more expensively. But then that means they also have to get rid of the DLC, not DLC, but the microtransactions. Now, if for cosmetics, okay, you want to make money off of cosmetics, okay, but game content shouldn't be like a microtransactional type of system in the game. Like with Overwatch 2, for example, they should have left over the first Overwatch alone, and then focus on making Overwatch 2 an actual game of itself. Now, some people can't afford the new stuff in Overwatch 2, from what I could tell. Now, I meant that I never played the game before Overwatch 2 yet, but I will eventually. But I'm hearing things like where it's like asking was it $70 or $90 for V-Bucks in like Fortnite and other games like Overwatch 2 and such. Like, people are not gonna just spend $80 so easily just on these microtransactions. And if they got rid of microtransactions, it's one thing to sell for $70. It's in other words, they're trying to sell a full game for $70 plus microtransactions on top of that. I have a question about that matter too. So, if they can get rid of the microtransactions or the optional, make it optional for microtransactions of the cosplays or whatever it's called, the add-ons stuff like that, that's fine. But DLC, it should be like that of like the back of the Lost in the Dam of GTA 4, something of that sort, style type of game format. Like you still play the full game, but you cannot have access to the DLC yet until you buy the DLC. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. If you really look at it, like the NES days, games could be as cheap as $40. Then you said like Super Nintendo games were like $50. I don't think games really became $60 till like the Nintendo 64 era.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Because I don't remember like Sega Genesis and Sega CD games being that expensive.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, the Nintendo 64 era, that is still the mid 90s. So I mean, it's one thing that it's we're going up to $70, not a big deal. But I agree that if they're going to go with if they're going to do this price increase, it would be nice not to advertise that microtransactions after we buy the game.
Oh yeah.
You know, is it really? Like I say, go up to $70 if you need to, especially if it's a brand new game, and offer the DLC for money, or however much it's going to be, or the season pass. Mm-hmm. But at the end, can I not be bombarded with advertisements to be nickel and dimed after that?
Oh yeah.
I think that's what most people are going to have a problem with. Another $10. If you really want the game on day one, you're gonna find a way to get $70 together.
Oh yeah.
In most cases, something could always come up at last minute.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm just. Well, I don't mind the price increase. I'm surprised. We've grown accustomed to games not being more than $60, unless you count like the GameStop reservation. When I used to reserve games at GameStop, this is something that's going to happen. And honestly, if a game if that is too expensive, then basically you just have to wait till a game has been out for a few months, then buy it, or wait till your local store or retailer has a deal where you can get 10-20% off.
Or wait until Black Friday or major Christmas sales and summer sales.
Right, or a holiday sale, right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't have a problem with them going to $70. I'd rather that than microtransactions. It's just a shame that we had to put up microtransactions for so long.
It's a new thing now. Microtransactions is now a new thing, but also it's a current thing. And the younger gamers are acceptable of that practice. Whether you tell them or not what happened back like 20 years ago or 10 years ago even, and they still don't want to listen to you because, that's just you just being Mr. Big Meanie instead of just about thinking about common sense and also consumer practices that are acceptable and practical. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, so unfortunately it sucks, but, also we've been pretty fortunate, anyone who's been gaming since the N64 days, to have been at like a $60 maximum for so long, not counting Game of the Year editions and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess, this is the way it's going to be. And like I said, if that's too expensive, then look into Game Pass. If you're a PlayStation fan, look into PlayStation Plus, their 3-tier deal. If you're a Nintendo Switch fan, look into Nintendo Switch Online. Maybe a service through the console would be better.
Oh yeah.
Just not games with gold. But we'll get into that later.
Oh yeah.
Ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Next. Okay. Stadia will close in January. Google issuing refunds for all hardware and software purchases. Google has revealed that its cloud streaming game service Stadia will shut down early next year. More specifically, Stadia will close down its platform and end its online servers on January 18, 2023. After that, you won't be able to access the Stadia service in any way. As for your games and hardware, Google is offering refunds for all Stadia hardware purchases, controllers, Founders Edition, Premier Edition, and Play and Watch with Google TV packages through the Stadia store, according to an FAQ posted by Google today. It seems like the only aspect of Stadia that won't be refunded are Stadia Pro subscriptions. However, you will be able to continue playing your games in Pro without further charges until the final wind-down date. If you're hoping to get a refund for your hardware, Google says most hardware purchases made directly from Google will not require you to return your hardware. The company intends to have the majority of refunds processed by Stadia's January 18 shutdown date. The Stadia store and all its functions have been turned off, so you will not be able to make any more Stadia-related purchases or in-game transactions. Stadia shutting down isn't the most surprising news. Despite cloud gaming continuing rise in popularity as of late, thanks to the likes of Microsoft's Xbox Cloud Gaming Initiative and others, Stadia never seemed to really take off. The first big sign that Stadia might not be long for this world came back in February of last year, when Google revealed it was ending its first-party game development and closing 2 studios. Then this February, word got out that Google Stadia had reportedly been deprioritized by the company. Now Stadia has just a few months left in it before it becomes a part of history. So long, Stadia. Did you use Stadia? What do you think of this news?
I never used Stadia, and it was way too early of its time to be broadcasting and selling out there to the general public anytime just right now. I did say in a comment below one of major YouTube gamers, that Stadia, it looked very good on paper. It does look good on paper, but at this time, the year 2022, 2021, give or take, it's not the best time to put it out there. And yes, it could be a good prototype for the insider copies or insider group of people, little gamers, but not just to the general public right out there in front. I would say give it another 10, maybe 15 years, then it'll be a perfected product, very perfected product. Cloud gaming is one example of that matter. What's going on with Microsoft Cloud and stuff like that. So that's a good start of it all, and it came in the right time for the matter too. But Stadia has got a whole new different level of like cloud gaming, and my perspective that is, and it's time that to practice on the cloud gaming on Xbox first, and then over the 10 years, hopefully 15 at the most, Stadia can take over the market of that cloud gaming, and they can dominate the market in a matter of time. So they come back in like 15 years from now and perfect it with a new program. I don't know what it's going to call exactly, but if instead of call it Stadia, call it something else, then it can work at that time by then. And by that time, the wars, there should be no more wars. There should be no more problems with the everyday problems in the world. In my perspective, that is because sooner or later we still have the Russia-Ukraine war going on. It should be over by then, and also create a new fluctuation of competition in the technological market, like they basically call it the digital race. You want to call it the second coming of the digital race. So that's my predicament in the matter, and also the trend and knowledge of what's going on with the Stadia. So.
All right. Well, Stadia, I never used it. Never had an interest in it. I think Stadia was an invention that was before its time, because again, cloud gaming, it's great, it's convenient, it's but at the same time, it's just not there yet.
Oh yeah.
There are parts of the United States that don't have good internet access all the time, and if you're going through an internet drought or whatever, cloud gaming is not going to happen for you until the internet's fixed or improved.
Oh, yeah.
So and when there are parts of the country that are like that, so I think this was before its time. It was before its time, and unfortunately, this shows what happens with cloud gaming when everything's on the cloud. whoever's in charge of that cloud could turn it off, and you're going to lose access to any games you had. So, like they said, they're not refunding people who bought subscriptions. So, you paid for the right to play, basically. And that's really another reason for physical games. And like I said, it could. It's fine if cloud gaming and online gaming is there as a convenience. You don't want it to be the only way to play.
Oh yeah.
Because say my Xbox One's not really a good example, but like my PS3 or my Sega Genesis or whatever, I could just put a disc in and start playing the game right then and there. I won't be able to do anything online, say in the PS3 mode, but I'll still be able to play the single player adventure and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You don't have that with cloud, and honestly, Google, they just really don't seem to be doing anything right. I mean, they own YouTube. They can't get that right. This was their gaming service. They couldn't get this right.
And they had a special device in it that you connect all your USB devices to. That one flopped as well. Like, that didn't go so well either. So.
Yeah, so it's not a surprise. Stadia was just too early. And this shows what happens when you go completely digital, completely on the cloud. That company shuts down. Your games are gone.
Oh yeah.
So any games, if you played Stadia, I hope you finish. My advice: try to finish those games before January. Otherwise, you're gonna have to buy those games all over again on a different platform. Ready to move on?
Oh yeah.
All right. Next, PlayStation Plus free games for October 2022 revealed. October's PlayStation Plus lineup includes Superhot, Hot Wheels Unleashed, and Injustice 2. The PS Plus free games lineup for October 2022 has been announced, and PlayStation is bringing the heat, and it's also the first time in around a year that we haven't gotten the game leaked ahead of time. Next month, beginning October 4th, which was a couple days ago, all PlayStation Plus subscribers can get Hot Wheels Unleashed, Superhot, and Injustice 2. PlayStation has announced the PlayStation Plus free games lineup for October 22. Two of the games leaked early, but this is the first time in about a year that the whole lineup wasn't spoiled ahead of time. All PlayStation Plus subscribers will be able... Why are they repeating themselves? Will be able to claim Injustice 2, Hot Wheels Unleashed, and Superhot starting October 4th. If you want any more information on these games, here it is. Hot Wheels Unleashed is an arcade racing game that released last year to pretty solid reviews. We award the zany racer a 7 out of 10 in a Hot Wheels Unleashed review. Though it can get repetitive, the racing mechanics are solid, and there are a lot of tracks. You can also build your own tracks and then race online against friends. Both the PS5 and PS4 versions of Hot Wheels Unleashed will be available to claim. If you haven't played Injustice 2, you're in for a treat. NetherRealm's second entry in the DC superhero fighting game series is an absolute delight. Even though it's 5 years old at this point, Injustice 2 still looks and plays great. It features a ton of unique content, including a wonderfully made story mode, and a boatload of challenges with unique rewards. The expansive roster is bolstered by a cool leveling and gear system that rewards players who keep playing. It earned a 9 out of 10 in our Injustice 2 review, and remains one of the best games in the genre over the past decade. The lineup is rounded out by Superhot, one of the best indie games in recent years. Superhot is a first-person shooter that plays like a puzzle game. Your objective is to get through each room without getting shot, and it features a very clever mechanic. Time only moves when you move, so each time you stop, enemies freeze too. You have to plan your moves ahead of time, developing a strategy to take out the bad guys without getting hit. It's a stylish and unique game that everyone should at least try. Make sure to claim September PS Pro Plus lineup before, well, it's too late now, as it includes a couple of great games. Have you heard of any of these games?
I played Superhot back at least a couple of years back, and it was available on the Game Pass for a while, if not Games with Gold, actually, if I recall correctly, that is.
It was Games with Gold, because I have it.
Okay, so I still have a copy of it myself somewhere. now they have an upgraded version. I think it's called Super Hot 2.0 or something of that sort, and it's just more gameplay and mechanics, of course. But yeah, the game is good. Super Hot. I was hooked onto it for a couple of hours at a time, and I got a lot much done within a few days of that within that game because I keep dying over and over. And then memorize every single step I take, and memorize how to avoid shots, memorize how to shoot, go for headshots or body shots or both. You know, it makes you think on your feet most of the time, and I like that. Super Hot. It'd be nice to see a sequel to it, maybe have a co-op version of it. Well, that's very hard to do, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How about Injustice 2?
Now, I played Injustice, the first one, Injustice: The Gods Among Us. That was all right, and that was one of the best games of 2012. I heard 2013. I was in the hospital at the time when Injustice came out, kind of around the same time. So it's kind of like I got the tail end of the hype of the matter. So people were like, "Oh, that's the Joker fighting Superman," and shit. Like it was some crazy shit. It was because obviously if you want to refer back to the post I made the other week or two, there was a Superman Red movie where Superman was part of the USSR instead, and then he lost his wife Lois, and then he just beat the crap out of Joker in one hit, and it was a fucked up matter he just did with Joker himself, and. Yeah, it's intertwined somehow with these stories, whether it's DC themselves making it or some other studio as well. So it's kind of like Injustice and Superman Red and all that stuff. It's kind of like I thank goodness I live in the era where DC and Marvel's movies are very good, some to a great extent, I have to say. So yeah, I'm thankful that I was born around the time of Injustice becoming a good thing. Injustice 2, I never played yet. I think it's still available on the Game Pass last time I checked. So
last time I checked, I think it was.
Yeah, so I'll try to get a copy of that. If not, I'll probably pay for it later on after I beat Injustice 1. I only played about an hour and a half, an hour of Injustice 1, so that's all.
Mm. Well, that's definitely a story you should finish. Did you ever play the Hot Wheels game?
No, not yet. It looks good, Hot Wheels. It's kind of like the Need for Speed / old school Test Drive franchise. Because Test Drive, last time there was a Test Drive game was back in, I would say the early 2000s. So
yeah, it's like Test Drive 5, I think, with Xbox original.
Yeah, I got the Test Drive demo on one of the demo disc of Test Drives, Test Drive games, and that was good too. So, but Hot Wheels, I definitely want to try that out. Hopefully, and see if it's on in Game Pass as well. So.
Okay. I never played the Hot Wheels game, so I can't comment on it. Mm-hmm. Injustice, I played the whole story. I actually got it for Christmas one year.
Okay.
And I played through the whole story. I enjoyed it. I really... It's one of the gaming stories that stuck with me, so that's how I really like the story in it. Injustice 2, I've never played, although it is on Game Pass. Or at least it's on Game Pass last time I checked. Super Hot, I've also played. It's a lot of fun. It's okay with the controller. It's a lot more fun if you have the VR headset. I actually used to watch Xavier Woods' gaming channel on YouTube, Up, Down, Down. He had Corey Graves trying out the game Super Hot.
Okay.
So he had the headset on, but you could also see like what Corey Graves saw like on a monitor. And you see Corey Graves doing like this. That was awesome, and I played it myself. It's a fun game. What's cool about Super Hot is like say you freeze, like say like an enemy shoots a gun and you freeze right afterwards.
Yeah.
The bullet, the path, and like the bullet will freeze in midair, and you'll see the path of where the bullet's gonna go, so you know which way to move when you start moving again. So
yeah.
If you haven't played Super Hot, I definitely suggest you try it. Injustice 2, everyone loves the Injustice series. I haven't heard anyone say anything bad about it. Hot Wheels, I can't say either way. So
understood.
Yeah, ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Next, Amazon Prime, 7 free games for October revealed. Subscribers can grab several notable AAA games, including Fallout 76, Middle-earth: Shadow of War, and Total War: Warhammer 2. Amazon has announced next month's batch of free games for Amazon Prime members. Prime's Gaming's October lineup features 7 games, and there are some big names present. Subscribers can claim 7 games in all, including a few AAA titles. Fallout 76, Middle-earth: Shadow of War, and Total War: Warhammer 2. The lineup is rounded out by Glass Masquerade, Loom, Heroes Hour, and Horus. As usual, Prime members will also be able to grab in-game content for a bunch of popular games. Next month's loot drops include content for Destiny 2, Grand Theft Auto Online, Madden 23, PUBG, and more. If you're not an Amazon Prime member, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial to snag the freebies. Once the games are in your library, they're yours to keep forever. It's a great time to take advantage of the free trial, as Amazon is hosting a second Prime Day 2022 sale on October 11th and 12th. Bethesda's Fallout 76 isn't exactly been the hit that the studio probably imagined, really. But if you've never played the online action RPG, now's your chance to check it out without spending a dime. Middle-earth: Shadow of War is the sequel to the Great Shadow of Mordor, which Amazon featured in a September free games lineup. Shadow of War adds some truly great large-scale battles, and the personal stories of the orcs you encounter along the way are well written. It also brings back the awesome Nemesis system, expanding it in cool ways. Though the overarching story is a bit underwhelming, Shadow of War is certainly worth checking out after playing Shadow of Mordor. Strategy game enthusiasts shouldn't miss Total War: Warhammer 2. Developed by Creative Assembly and released in 2017, Warhammer 2 is a stellar experience marked by a compelling mix of turn-based and real-time tactics gameplay. Meanwhile, Glass Masquerade is a lovely stained glass puzzle game that currently holds an overwhelmingly positive user score on Steam. For platforming fans, don't sleep on Horus, a platforming game that nods back to classic 8 and 16-bit platformers while pushing the genre forward in terms of storytelling. Heroes Hour is a strategy RPG with large-scale battles and a neat mix of turn-based and real-time tactical combat. Loom is the oldest games of the bunch. Yeah, no kidding, it's almost as old as I am. As it's the latest classic LucasArts game to be given away to Prime members. So, do you know any of these games? Are you familiar with any of them?
Well, I'm not sure about the Warhammer exactly. There's more than one Warhammer video game out there. And the last Warhammer game I played was Space Marines back in 2012, 2013, give or take.
Yeah, I played that.
Yeah, and that was alright. It was part of like some sort of Games with Gold, I believe, or a special game. Well, Game Pass didn't start until 2014, 2013, give or take. So it was around that time I was trying to play Warhammer a lot whenever I can. But other than that, there's also other Warhammer games I tried to play. Not yet. It's called Vermintide. I think Vermintide 2 is available on Game Pass still. But the first Vermintide game...
I think Vermintide was also on Games with Gold one time.
Okay. Because I don't see Vermintide 1 available for Games with Gold. So it should be on the Game Pass still, last time I checked, that is.
Well, obviously you have had to download it the month it was out, and this is years ago.
Yes, definitely. As you can tell, I'm a man of like having dozens upon dozens of games to choose from. So, as an adult gamer, as you get older, you may have more options to choose from and have more resources to buy more games, but you're not going to have the time to play all of them. So, I will admit that. And
that's why I used to do the randomizer wheel, like I showed you for me.
Oh, okay.
I have every game I could possibly stream is in a wheel. Spin the wheel, whatever it lands on. I make sure if it's a game I never played before, I look up reviews and stuff.
Right.
But if it looks like a game I'll like, or it's a game I have played before that I do like, I play. That's the game I play. Whatever the randomizer wheel lands on.
Yeah, I remember back in the day when I was younger. When we were younger, you and I, Triple J. We could only afford so many games out there, and our own parents, are the ones who helped us buy games like PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360 and all, and Xbox original. Personally, for me, it was PS2, PS1, N64. I never had Nintendo GameCube at all, so.
Yeah, me neither. Not till years later.
Yeah, I outgrew Nintendo products after N64, so. But yeah, it's hopefully I make time to play some more Warhammer games because those are good. I heard, and I just played Space Marine many years ago too, so no big deal. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking of the October release.
It's funny, not to veer off topic, but since you brought up Space Marines, I actually like that game. It just I did end up quitting later into the game. It just got like hard to see with the boss, and then like orcs chasing you on the ground, and I remember I just got frustrated with it.
Oh yeah.
But as I kept the article open because I knew I was going to refer back to it. Fallout 76 is an embarrassment. Middle-earth Shadow War, I can't comment on it, but I did play Shadow or Mordor. I liked it, but it also got too hard for me because I kept dying. And in Shadow or Mordor, if you died while going after an enemy, that enemy would get stronger. And that enemy would remember the times you died. Okay. So, I'm trying to kill off this lizard enemy so he doesn't get stronger, and he's like, trying your luck a third time? You already lost twice!
Okay.
Something like that, anyway. Something to that extent. So, and then I got upset because, I decided to go off do something else, try to level up, but I hadn't taken that guy out of the Nemesis system, so I died, something completely unrelated, and that enemy got stronger again. But still, it's, I would still suggest you try Shadow of Mordor, and if you had, and you liked it, why not try the sequel?
Oh, yeah.
The other games, Warhammer, we talked about. The only other one I've heard of is Loom. Like I said, that was available in the 90s on PC. Kind of a musical game, because I remember, you had to unlock, different music notes. And I remember, there was this one time you fall off, a cliff or something, and you land on, and, if you land in the water, your character's like, that didn't work, let's try that again.
Yeah.
And, you'd hear the, as he's falling, and, then parents want to know what's going on because they hear it over and over. Mm-hmm. If you're an Amazon Prime member or you want to try if you want to try these games for free, now's your chance. Mm-hmm. Ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Next, Xbox Games with Gold. Free games for October 2022 revealed. Xbox Live Gold subscribers now only get 2 free games per month. Xbox has announced the next lineup of free games for Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass Ultimate subscribers. Windbound and Bomber Crew Deluxe Edition will be free to claim in October. Don't waste the hard drive space. It marks the first month where the Games with Gold lineup doesn't include original Xbox or Xbox 360 games. Stupid. Sadly, this means the lineup for October and seemingly future months only features 2 games. Though Microsoft announced a change months ago, it's still a bit of a bummer to see Games with Gold freebies halved from 4 to 2 each month, especially since the backward compatible titles were often more exciting than Xbox One games. Yeah, gotta agree with that. All month long, subscribers will be able to grab Windbound, an adventure game set on the Forbidden Islands. In order for Kara to survive and thrive on the mysterious chain of islands, she needs to scour the land for resources, craft weapons, and even build a makeshift boat to travel the seas. With harsh elements and assortment of fantasy creatures roaming the lands, the Forbidden Islands is a dangerous yet beautiful sandbox. Windbound released in 2020 to mixed reviews, but anyone who likes survival adventure games should give it a go. Starting October 16th, members can claim Bomber Crew Deluxe Edition, a strategy sim set during World War II. As the commander of a bomber crew, of course, it's your job to pick the right team members, prepare your bomber, and most importantly, manage your resources and delegate tasks during the mission. Each crew member is procedurally generated and has their own unique traits. You can't get too attached, though, as Bomber Crew features permadeath. With colorful cartoon visuals and lighthearted dialogue, Bomber Crew doesn't take itself too seriously. Unlike a lot of World War II games, Bomber Crew is appropriate for kids, so it'll still be a good one for your youngsters to try next month. Do you want me to go, or do you want to go?
You go first. I bet you're more knowledgeable at this matter.
Okay. Both these games suck. Windbound, like they said, even Windbound got mixed reviews when it came out in 2020. So it's, and like, I checked Xbox reviews through the Xbox One, and when I wasn't reading someone defending the service or bashing the service, people were saying this game is repetitive, the controls suck, the activities are tedious and repetitive, so it's not fun.
Right. I
played Bomber Crew myself 2 years ago. I hated it. That's why I only played it once during a free play weekend. So basically, Games with Gold is a complete bust this month, just like it's been for most of 2022. Previous years, I could defend it. There was always something. And it's just a shame. I mean, they're still taking games off. It's not that they ran out of backwards compatible games. I'll explain what they should have done.
Right.
What they should have done and what they should do is they should go back to giving us 4 free games a month. And even if it's an old game like Final Fantasy 13, they took it off Game Pass, so offer it as one of the free games that you can download next month. Mm-hmm. And, they take off about 12 to 18 games per month off Game Pass. You're telling me you can't take some of the games that are no longer on Game Pass and offer them as a freebie next month, whether or not you've already offered them before on Game Pass? You can't say it's a compatibility issue because they're compatible to play on Game Pass. Oh, yeah. So, but now they're basically Games with Gold, as far as I'm concerned, is dead.
Yeah, it's basically just the only good about Games with Gold is just the online playability with other people online. That's about it. And I can do that on my PC if I really want to put my mind to it. But the problem though is that I don't have the better equipment for PC experience. So majority of the PC games that I have require a lot of RAM, a lot of processing speed, and I don't have those up to par yet. So. But games like you mentioned, the Bomber, what's it called again? The Bomber something? What's the name of that?
Bomber Crew.
Is it similar to Bomberman, or that's like a?
No, it's much worse than it's not even as fun as Bomberman.
see, that's one of the reasons why I can't pay attention to that specific, those specific games, because they sound unfamiliar and very unappealing. And I thought with Games with Gold, they'll try to give us, like, let's say Street Fighter 4. Maybe Tekken Tag Tournament 2, something of that sort. But I had to pay for it out of my pocket, those games specifically. So it sucks,
They did give us those games. They did give us
not Street Fighter 4.
Not Street Fighter 4 maybe, but I think they gave us Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Okay, so that was years ago. It gotta be how many years ago I got that as free. Man, it's Sorry guys, it's hard to keep track of what certain games or when I got the games with Gold. So that's how far back we're going, with these games. Because Tekken Tag Tournament 2 came out for the Xbox 360, around 2014, 2013. So
yeah, I got Tekken Hybrid on my PS3, which is Tekken Tag Tournament HD. I got Tekken Tag Tournament 2 on Xbox One.
Okay, all right.
And that's the thing. Bomber Crew, which is, if you want to see me, go to my BitChute. I did the video like 2 years ago. I tried it out, and I never cared to play it again. So now they're giving it to us where we can own it. Yay!
Yay!
Can't you see how excited I am?
I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. That's from Patti LaBelle, by the way, guys. So you can tell I listen to my mom's music a lot.
Yeah, it makes a root canal from a dentist sound like a good idea. Hold the Novocaine. So I mean, these games with Gold, if this is what they're going to offer, they might as well They might as well end the service. What's the appeal of giving us shovelware?
Yes.
Ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Next. This $20 Xbox Live Gold bundle includes 8 game development courses. A 3-month Xbox Live Gold plan is currently on sale for $20, and you also get a bunch of Unity and Unreal Engine courses too. If you're looking to re-up your Xbox Live Gold subscription, GameSpot Deals has a great bundle promotion right now that's worth checking out. For just $20, you can get 3 months of Xbox Live Gold and 8 online classes focused on introductory game development. Considering Xbox Live Gold normally costs $25 for 3 months, you're getting a deal just on a subscription. Not really. The online courses really sweeten the pot since these are regularly priced at more than $20 each. All of the online classes are offered through Zenva Academy, one of the leading e-learning sites for various computer skills including game development. The coursework bundle features a dozen hours of video instruction focused on novice-level game development. There are courses that teach you the basics of Unity and Unreal Engine, 2 of the most popular game engines and development tools around. Here's a full list of courses which cover a myriad of genres. Intro to Unreal Engine game development, Unreal Engine mini projects, 3D micro project point and click RPG, create a micro turn-based RPG, action RPG development for beginners, construct an arcade game in Unreal Engine, create a platformer in Unreal Engine, develop a first-person shooter in Unreal Engine. Meanwhile, Xbox Live Gold grants access to online multiplayer on Xbox Series and Xbox One. You'll also get 2 free games each month as well as exclusive discounts on the Xbox Store. You said you had an interest in learning how to create games, so maybe this is for you.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely want to spend $20 if I had the money for it. I'm kind of broke, personally broke right now myself as of this moment. But if they still continue on with the offer until next month, that'll be great. And I can pick off from where I left off with learning about coding and stuff from the ADSI book that I have right here somewhere in my room. And I read about half the book so far over the last few years. But there's a lot of C++, C++, as programming things in that manner. But that'd be a great addition to what you said, which is now with the novice in game development. So, but I will personally admit this though, that I'm not going to be the best developer or going to be developing my own my own games. If I ever had the money, it would be more towards me to fund these projects. I'd be more of the businessman like aspect of gaming, like that of Ara Aqua, who was president of Nintendo for a few years, or Ottawa. He was more of a developer and also a president of Nintendo for a while too before his death. So, I may not know the intricacies of development or programming altogether, but I definitely can understand the business aspect of the matter. So that'll be my contributing factor to what I want to do with myself in the gaming industry. So.
Yeah, so you'd rather be the investor instead of the developer?
Yes, indeed. And I know that I'm not going to learn all this stuff in a grand, predictable, and sought after manner. Like I'm not going to learn all this stuff with ease. And I realized that I'm not good at math. I'm not good at numbers. At the same time, I'm good with words. I'm good with mishmashing a little bit of lingo between words and numbers. But if it involves trigonometry, if it involves algebra, if it involves coding, any of that sort, it's kind of like, I'm lost in space in that matter. So, but yeah, I'll give it a chance for this $20 offer. It's only $20. Like, why not, right? And I get 3 free months, of Xbox Live. So.
Yeah. So, if you're interested in these courses, maybe you should take advantage of it. I don't know if they offer what you need or if you would just have to have the computer capable of doing it yourself. I don't know if they offer if they'll offer you a laptop or computer just for this or not. But if you're interested in learning how to code games, at least getting the basics down, this is what they're offering. I just find it funny that the first month that they're offering that games don't from 360 and the original Xbox aren't featured. They're already bundling this with games with gold.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like they know they have a crappy service.
Eventually, people will succumb to the mishaps of games with gold. Like people will see the obviousness of how gypped they were for the last 15 years, at least for me 10 years of Xbox Live Gold. I've known that Xbox Live Gold was excessive to pay for anyway. It's just that I had the money, I have the time, I have the resources to pay for it, and as long as Xbox themselves find ways to make sure that they make a better service out of that money that we give them, that's fine. Whatever they do with it, But if they're not contributing no extra money or money from these payments and sales of Xbox Live Gold, then I have a question. I have a word or two to talk to them about the matter at hand. So, that's a little separate of itself. But the Xbox Gold bundle that you mentioned about the 8 development courses, that should be something of a good stepping stone and getting your foot in the door type of matter in the industry.
Yeah, so they're offering this now. I think you would have to get this through GameSpot though, or GameStop, or GameSpot.
Okay.
I don't have the article up anymore. But yeah, this is worth looking forward into if you had an interest in learning the basics of coding a video game.
Oh yeah.
Ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Next. Xbox Game Pass gets swarmed by A Plague Tale: Requiem, Scorn, and more this month. The first batch of Xbox Game Pass games to come during the spookiest season of the year have been unveiled. A Plague Tale: Requiem headlines the lineup, accompanied by fellow new title Scorn along with Chivalry 2. Read on to find out what's coming and what's leaving Game Pass in the coming week, and check out our reviews for each title. Chivalry 2 came... Okay, so this article was dated October 4th. So that's what it means when I said today. Mm-hmm. Chivalry 2 came to all three on the 4th. Medieval Dynasty came to Xbox Series today. The Walking Dead, the complete first season, came to PC today. No. It came 2 days ago. It's the 8th, not the 6th. I'm sorry. The Walking Dead Season 2 came to PC 2 days ago. Costume Quest is coming to the console and cloud on the 11th. Evil is coming to console and the PC same day. So is Dyson Sphere program, which is coming to the PC. Scorn is coming to Xbox Series, XNX, PC, and the cloud on the 14th. And A Plague Tale: Requiem is coming to the Series, Xbox Series, PC, and cloud on the 18th. That's what's coming. What's leaving on the 15th? Bloodroots is leaving all three services. So is Echo Generation, Into the Pit, Ring of Pain, Sable, The Good Life, and that's it. So, assuming we're able to play Xbox Series games on Xbox One, because I was able to download one.
Right.
I didn't actually play it. But it was downloaded and installed on my console. Are there any games in this lineup for Game Pass that you're interested in?
Well, Scorn, I heard it's going to be a good game to play. For let's call it Biopunk. I'll just look it up just now, and it looks good to play in a first-person view. Personally, myself, I don't have an Xbox Series X and S, so I might have to miss out for first few months of the game's release. Personally, myself, I should still be able to play A Plague Tale: Requiem if it's available for the Xbox One S. So, think about playing that as well. I do want to finish playing though the first one, Plague Tale: Innocence. That is on the PC for like $8 at one point as of last week or two. So.
All right. Obviously, The Walking Dead. I have seasons 2, 3, and 4 saved on my Xbox One, and I played through all of them. But those are still good games. If you haven't played them on PC and you have Game Pass on your PC, that's definitely something we're trying. all I can say is, as far as a Plague Tale Requiem, when it comes out on the 18th, I'm gonna try to download it through Game Pass, see if it will work on a base Xbox One. Hey, if it's because the thing is, when we were looking through the Xbox games that were, I had the full library up of games I owned, games that were available through Game Pass, games that I had gotten games with gold. When a Plague Tale Requiem came up, it said it had the picture, but it said not available yet, or not yet available because it's not going to be free, available to Game Pass subscribers till the 18th. So, like on the 18th or 19th, I might go for it.
Oh yeah.
Maybe. Hey, maybe. And this is also going to get into what we're going to talk about when I talk about Review Tech USA's video that he made earlier this week. One of them, anyway. If the game can run on Xbox One just fine, maybe Xbox is maybe Microsoft is doing that, because there's no reason Shredders should work. If it's a Series X and S game, yet I was still able to download it, unless they're saying, hey, if the game can run the way we want it to on older consoles, why not? And think about it, a snowboarding game is not that hard to run on retro consoles, let alone current consoles.
Right.
So but Shredders is supposed to be just an Xbox Series game. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll be able to get into it. If not, Plague Tale Queen will have to wait. I'm just hoping on the 18th I'll be able to install it and play it.
Okay. Well, for me personally, not personally, but based on the trends in any cycle of gaming, of gaming system, this year is the last year for, if you want to base stuff on for the previous generation, this year might be the last year for Xbox One to be releasing on new games for its system. And after 2023, that's when they're going to focus on Xbox Series S and X and PS5.
Okay, well, there's still a lot of even if that's true, there's still a lot of Xbox One games I haven't.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Far Cry 6, for crying out loud. I still want to play that, and I know that game's going to require days, not just hours, to get all the way through. That's just one game off the top of my mind.
Oh yeah, and no, don't get me wrong. I mean, Xbox One S, Xbox One altogether, it's a good system of itself. But, Xbox Series X and S kind of harbors on the high performance of 4K 120 frames per second type of matters, and also to be able to simultaneously with 14 teraflops of you play 3-4 games at the same time. So that's what's so interesting about Xbox Series X, or at least specifically with Xbox Series X. Personally, myself, I would definitely try to my best to get a copy of the system. Just that I don't have money for it right this second, so it's
right. Neither do I. But honestly, I would want a Series X over a Series S, only because the Series S, I think, is an all digital system, while X still has a disc slot.
Yeah.
But if that's coming, that's coming. But you never know with what's going on.
Oh yeah.
Especially with the world going into, or at least the country going into, a recession. Hopefully, Xbox does. Hopefully, Microsoft and Sony don't. Well, we don't know if Sony's doing it, but hopefully, Microsoft puts those plans on hold.
Oh yeah.
I always thought releasing the PS5 and Xbox One series when they did was ill-timed, and people, it's only a little bit easier to get your hands on one of those consoles than it's been.
Oh yeah.
It's it's still not easy, which again we're going to talk about Review Tech USA's video later. Ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Next, get a new look at the Dead Space. Hold on, did I X out something that I already had? Yeah, I think I. Yeah, okay. I X'd this out by mistake. CD Projekt Red announces new Cyberpunk game, multiple Witcher games, and new IP. Hold on, this isn't it. Hold on, guys. I messed up. Development courses, Game Pass, get a new look at Dead Space. Okay. So I was right before.
You're referring to the Dead Space trilogy, Dead Space remake, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. I'm ready. EA and Motive Studios have released the first official gameplay trailer for the upcoming remake of Dead Space. So let me check OBS. Okay. The studio has been slowly releasing new information and video clips of this remake in its behind-the-scenes showcases focused on things like the game's sound, visuals, or something else. But today's trailer marks the first time we've seen this much official gameplay at once, and it looks great. Terrifying, of course, but great. And here's here's a high-resolution screenshot from the trailer. We'll be playing the trailer after I finish this article. As you can see, the remake is looking awesome. We can't wait to go hands-on with it. Fortunately, we don't have to wait too much longer because it hits PS5, Xbox Series, and PC in January of 2023. I'm going to play the trailer now, and then we'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Here it goes.
USG Ishimura, this is the emergency maintenance team of the USG Kellyan responding to your distress call.
Isaac Clarke.
What have you got, Isaac?
Half the Ishimura's in the red. Engines, hull, the triumphs.
Can you handle it alone?
Fix the centrifuge. Get the fuel running.
This is Senior Medical Officer Nicole Brennan. Medical is overwhelmed. We need help. Toxic hazard detected. Make us one.
Make us one. Humanity will be made fools to Clarke. With or without you.
Isaac, it's me. It's all falling apart here. I can't believe what's happening.
Nicole?
January 27th, okay.
Yep. Only for next gen, though.
Of course. See, I was right.
Huh?
See, I was right.
Yeah. Let's just hope it's not all games.
No, it's gonna be like that every generation. Like the first couple of years, they'll put on the previous generation, like that Xbox 360 with like Black Ops, 3 and all. And after 2 years, it's now up to Infinite Warfare and then Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2022. That's gonna be the last few games for the Xbox One. So.
Well, I'm just saying, hopefully, there'll still be. What I was saying was, hopefully, there'll still be more games coming that aren't next gen exclusive, at least for a little while.
Right.
But I'm saying, maybe the big AAA titles will be next gen exclusive or more exclusive on the ratio.
Mm-hmm.
but only time will tell.
Oh yeah.
So, what do you think of the Dead Space remake?
Oh, I only played about an hour and a half so far, or at least an hour of Dead Space 1, the original Xbox 360. I will admit this though. I do own all three of them through the Xbox games with gold, and Dead Space 1, Dead Space 2, Dead Space 3. But I never got a chance to. I played Dead Space 3, the demo version, when it came out for the demo back in 2011, 2012. This is months before I went to the hospital for a year, and it was a interesting experience. But what I hear about Dead Space 3 though is that they try to mainstream it to the public, to the main streamers of the media and stuff, like the critics and all that stuff. So rather than focus on a niche audience like that of any gamer community, they focus on the broader sense of it.
And I heard that's where, and they tried to make it more like a Hollywood experience.
Yes.
Like an interactive movie experience instead, and got further away from the video game experience that 1 and 2 offered.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's also what I heard. This looks awesome. I never played the original, or I played it very little, maybe even less than an hour. But this looks like it's staying true to the source, the source material that was in the last, 2 games specifically. Cut off their limbs, is that a new one? Because I thought shooting them in the head was...
I thought so too.
Okay, so it wasn't just me then. Yeah, so if you're interested in this remake and you got a next-gen system, it's coming out the beginning of next year. And hopefully the game is just as good as it looks in the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, next. CD Projekt Red announces new Cyberpunk game, multiple Witcher games, and new IP. CD Projekt Red has pulled back the curtains on its game development pipeline. Hold on. So people can see it, if they want to follow along. Revealing a brand new Cyberpunk game, multiple new Witcher games, and even a new IP. This news comes by the way of the studio's investor call today, in which the studio revealed Orion, the codename for its next Cyberpunk game. Not much else was revealed, but CD Projekt Red says Orion will take the Cyberpunk franchise further and continue harnessing the potential of this dark future universe. Up next was The Witcher. CD Projekt Red has revealed that its next Witcher game, which was announced earlier this year, is being developed under the codename Polaris. The studio says it is the beginning of a new saga, and that it aims to release 2 more Witcher games after Polaris, creating a new AAA RPG Witcher trilogy. Following that reveal, CD Projekt Red announced another full-fledged Witcher game under the codename, presumably Canis Majoris. It will be developed by an external studio headed by experienced developers who have worked on CD Projekt Red's Witcher games in the past, according to the announcement. We've known for some time already that the Molasses Flood is working on a game in the Witcher universe, and during today's investor call, CD Projekt Red released some new additional details about the project. Sirius is a codename for the game developed by the Molasses Flood, set in the Witcher universe and created with support from CD Projekt Red. A tweet reads, "It will differ from our past productions, offering multiplayer gameplay on top of a single-player experience, including a campaign with a quest and a story." To close out today's new games announcement, CD Projekt Red revealed Project Hadar, a third entirely distinct IP created from scratch. This project is in the earliest stages of the creative process, according to the studio, which means it is not actually developing any of the game just yet. But now CDPR is working exclusively on the foundation for this new setting. And those are all the new games and projects CDPR announced today. As you can see, the studio is quite busy. Which of these games are you most excited to learn about?
Well, if you're referring to the CD Projekt Red's game Cyberpunk, I heard they greatly improved that game over the last year and a half now, and thanks to the Netflix exclusive of the Edge Runners, they call Cyberpunk Edge Runners or Cyberpunk Runners. I watched about the first 5 episodes of that, and it makes me go back to try to get a copy of Cyberpunk 2077. Personally, myself, I don't have money for it, like I said, and it looks good. The series of itself, the TV series on Netflix. So I recommend watching that if you have Netflix. And yeah, it's getting more interested as I keep watching the series. And I hope that whatever I see in this Netflix exclusive will also be in the game of itself somehow, some way. And yeah, so that's what I'm anticipating. But yeah, but then The Witcher 3, of course, I already have The Witcher 1 and 2. Witcher 1 on PC, Witcher 2 on Xbox 360, and Witcher 3 I should really get it for about $10 last time I checked. But if it's on sale again, I'll definitely will try to get an actual official copy of the matter. So.
Well, they're developing a new trilogy for The Witcher.
Okay, that's even better.
Yeah, so there's plenty. And then they got this. So they got this mystery game, Cyberpunk. I've kind of given up on it. I really don't think I'd ever be interested in Cyberpunk again, especially with the disaster it released in the first time. It's first impressions are hard to disregard.
Yeah.
The Witcher, I've actually never got into it. Never really gave it a chance. So that's a game franchise I should.
The Witcher 2 is not bad. I played about the first 30 minutes to an hour of Witcher 2. It's alright to play. And Witcher 3, I heard it was a breathtaking type of game as well for the Xbox One edition. So, yeah.
Alright, so these games, if you're a big Witcher fan, or if you're one of the people who's been won over by Cyberpunk, there's reason to pay attention to CD Projekt Red. If neither of those franchises interest you, they're working on something brand new as well.
Oh, yeah.
So there's definitely reason to pay attention to what CD Projekt Red is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Next. PlayStation Stars, Sony's new loyalty program, is now live in North and South America. Sony announced its new gaming loyalty program, PlayStation Stars, back in July, and the service is now live in North and South America. PlayStation users can sign up for the free program, but there's one big caveat. PlayStation Stars allows players to earn points and digital collectibles by completing campaigns, which range from completing small objectives while playing games to larger monthly challenges. Any PlayStation player can join Stars. You don't need a Plus subscription. Completing campaigns also raises your star status, a leveling system consisting of 4 ranks. Everyone begins at level 1, but doing things like purchasing games from PlayStation Network or earning a certain number of trophy rarities raises this level, increasing the quality of rewards you earn. Digital rewards, which Sony confirmed are not NFTs and cannot be resold, include models of old PlayStation consoles and characters from first-party titles. You can also use points to redeem. You can also redeem points to use as funds for your digital store wallet and to purchase DLC. Points remain available for 24 months after earning them. If you're wanting to sign up now, there's already a wait list to join PS Stars. Sony states that new users will have to wait about 2 months after the date they register to be accepted into the program. It's unclear why this is the case, but one could assume Sony doesn't want to be flooded with too many memberships at once as it gradually gets the program off the ground. Registration also doesn't seem consistent yet, as some folks were immediately let in while others have been told to wait, and some others still can't access Stars in parts of the US as a publishing. PlayStation Stars will launch in Europe, Australia, and New Zealand next week on the 13th. To learn more about the program, including its handy FAQ, you can visit its official site here. So what do you think of this program from PlayStation Stars?
Well, personally myself, if it's appealed towards the actual everyday gamer, like myself and you, for example, I'm willing to pay good money to be part of a loyalty program. And, or if they pay me as well, definitely, if that's the case as well. Because I never really got myself involved with PlayStation until since PlayStation 2. And after when PS3 came out, I stopped following altogether up until recently I got a donation from one of my followers online who donated a PS3 system to me. So I'm trying to play more on Metal Gear Solid 4 and God of War and stuff like that with you guys later on, which I did recently as well too, Metal Gear Solid 4. Well, other than that, the PlayStation Stars program sounds like a good way to add more to the mix of things. they could definitely add more people to follow the PlayStation trends. Perhaps even be an actual PlayStation Plus member for a discount or for some sort of incentive to be a PlayStation Plus member. So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds kind of like Xbox Game Pass program, because Xbox Game Pass, you can use the points you earn for doing tasks like playing specific games or doing specific things in specific games. You can cash those in towards Xbox gift cards or even gift cards to different restaurants like McDonald's or Burger King.
Even Applebee's, that'd be better.
Well, I really don't care just because there's not an Applebee's near me.
Right.
But I got a McDonald's that I can walk to in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
And I got a Burger King in this one city over. But
it would be nice if they wanted people to go to restaurants like Applebee's, Sizzlers, Red Lobster, like if they actually have incentives for people for PlayStation Plus users. Buy a PlayStation Plus for this month, you get like 15% off of your Applebee's restaurant offer. Something of that sort. That'd be good.
yeah, so I mean, if you have, I guess this is only for PS5 people, but I'm not sure of that. I know you just got PS3, but I know the servers for all PS3 games are shut down by now.
Yeah,
and the PlayStation Store is
and
also.
And that new security protocol for PS3 where you have to sign up with a code on the website, and then with that website's code, you have to sign up under your PS3 system. But the PS3 system is no longer consistently there for the services because whatever happened with that new upgrade at the time of the shutdown, also.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because they were planning on shutting down PSP, PS3's stores and other services online. So.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're a PlayStation guy instead of an Xbox guy, this sounds like a service. It's worth suggesting because you can get some free games when you earn points, and why not? Oh, yeah. Why not? This is one thing I think all games should do. All system developers, anyway, give us a reason to play your games other than the game itself. Oh, yeah. Give us some kind of reward. I always thought the gamer score, even if it was 10,000 points for $1, make those gamer score points redeemable in the Xbox Live Marketplace.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm going to have to buy more games to get more gamer score, meaning I'm going to spend more money in your store, or on a game for Xbox 360 or Xbox One. Oh yeah. They never done that, but they do have something similar to Game Pass. Mm-hmm. So there is that. Ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Next, hold on. Okay, that's later. Madden 23 problems push fans to the breaking point. Players complain about being plagued by ridiculous interceptions and lost progress. It's been over a month since Madden 23 launched and was promptly dragged by fans and some NFL pros alike. Unfortunately, despite some updates, it doesn't sound like the most polished version of Madden in years has improved a ton, and a few players are starting to give up hope. Picture. It is an embarrassment and makes me really mad. I decided to get a Madden title for the first time in 6 years, one player wrote in an email to Kotaku. It spits on the grave of the man who graces the cover. That assessment is on the harsher end of the spectrum, but social media and EA's own forums are full of players still voicing similar complaints well into the game's live service lifespan. While the perennial grievances about bugged play and outdated in-game references persist, more serious issues with broken modes, lost progress, and balls repeatedly slipping through receivers' hands for incredibly unlikely interceptions have fans stewing. There are too many interceptions, posted one player on the EA Answers website in August. Almost all somewhat covered routes are caught by the CBs. Today there are over 100 responses. I have had so many passes where the corner appears to be in man coverage. Then I then throw the ball at the receiver's break, and the cornerback instantly turns around and picks off the ball, reads one. What skill can I acquire to prevent defenders from doubling the speed of all my receivers to catch up in a fraction of a second, reads another. Others have shared visual evidence of the issue on the Madden subreddit. How does the ball go through my receiver's hands for an interception? A player wrote yesterday in one of the more upvoted posts. I'm so sick of this happening all the time. The rest of the comments were filled with players commiserating. Solo battles, daily challenges players complete for rewards have another sore spot, with players reporting that they don't properly reset after they're completed. Is this something different? Yeah, this is. Even more frustrating for some is Madden 23's franchise mode, where players build up a team over several seasons. Players have been reporting lost progress for weeks when the game freezes, crashes, or they disconnect from a match. Others can't get in the mode to progress beyond a certain point, essentially soft-locking their simulated journey. So EA, y'all ever gonna fix franchise mode for Madden 23? One player tweeted recently, our league keeps getting kicked back to the second round of the draft. Complaints about shortcomings in Madden's annual update are nothing new, and some veterans have become accustomed to braving the rough launch period until things start settling into place, but the ambient anger seems to have reached a new level this year. A couple weeks ago, Madden streamers started circulating the hashtag PackStrike on social media to boycott the Ultimate Team mode slot, machine-based microtransaction economy. Top players spend anywhere from hundreds to thousands of dollars on card packs for a shot at unlocking the highest-ranked players for their competitive online teams, while EA rakes in billions. They called on the publisher to lower reroll costs for packs and improve their odds before players spent any more money. I asked when it started, but at what point does Pack Strike turn into Madden Strike? Madden YouTuber Wheels FL tweeted yesterday. YouTuber Eric Rayweather was equally dire, arguing in a new video that it's up to EA's next title update to save the game. The October patch doesn't have an official release date yet, but it's expected to be a big one. We are aware of several issues that players have reported within franchise mode, and our team is working as quickly as possible to resolve these issues, an EA community manager posted last week. Continuing with our commitment to live service, our next title update focuses on players' feedback from the launch window of Madden NFL 23. But it's clear there's a big contingent of Madden players who simply want more transparency and frankness about the current state of the game. Few seem to dispute that Madden 23 makes a number of improvements to the series' overall gameplay, but the ongoing glitches are threatening to overshadow any bright spots. Both of these things are true, tweeted Madden streamer Fendler. Madden 23 gameplay is the best it has been since 19 at least. We should seriously consider boycotting the game entirely as things stand right now. EA did not immediately respond to a request for a comment. So, what do you think of Madden 23, the game that keeps kicking customers?
Well, I didn't say I know this was going to happen or I knew it from the start. It's just that since the 2000s or 2010 more exact, Madden has not been a good game or a series of good games. Prior to 2010, there was good features that had like managers mode and managerials, positions, things of the matter. But after 2010, it just went downhill, and it's just that I never thought about buying another Madden game since, and I will admit I never bought a Madden game on my own accord. But playing it altogether, I haven't played that since like Madden, Madden 1999, 2000, give or take, and perhaps even during the Sega Genesis actually time. After, like I said, this is after a certain amount of time of playing Madden with other friends. I lose contact with them after a while, and since 2005, 2006, I never played any Madden games since. And I can't say much about the Madden games on how bad it has gotten, but based upon like YouTuber gamers like the Angry Joe, for example, he was pissed off for many years, every year for the last 5-6 years, to my awareness, that he got tired of the makers of Madden spewing and putting out bullshit with the microtransactions and all. So I can't really be on the side of Angry Joe 100% all the way through because I don't know the whole story. But let's just say that Madden has not been the same for the last at least 15 years so far. So.
So basically, Madden 23 has been a disaster since it came out, and it hasn't gotten any better.
Yeah.
Basically, if this doesn't get fixed, the only way EA is going to learn is if they get low sales for a Madden game.
Yeah.
Maybe this will be what pisses players off enough. You never know. I got Madden 19 myself. I play Madden 22 on Game Pass, but I'm more of a franchise guy and face of the franchise. I'm trying for the first time.
Yeah.
But this is not good. And it's more of a shame that they're doing this on the year that was dedicated to John Madden after his death.
Ridiculous. I have to say, it's ridiculous because John Madden is the face of the game series altogether for 25, 30 years almost, if not. And this is what they do to him on the time of his death is to put out a cash cowing opportunity to the fans of Madden and all that. That's just not right. You're supposed to make the best Madden of John Madden's death. It's not the case really. Not 100% at least that. So it's daunting. It sucks. It's something that we have to live for now for the rest of our lives as gamers, or at least the ones who respect the Madden franchise, like myself. So it's it is what it is now.
Yeah. So I mean, if you think Madden 23 has not fixed their problems yet, they're supposedly going to fix it sometime this month, but. If you have not gotten Madden 23, I would not suggest it.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Next. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 launch trailer showcases more of the game's campaign. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the hotly anticipated sequel to 2019's Modern Warfare reboot, is out in just a few weeks, and Infinity Ward has released a new trailer to highlight what to expect during the game's story campaign. Returning favorites from 2019's Modern Warfare like Ghost and Price make an appearance in the trailer, as do newcomers to the series, both good and bad, all to the backdrop of the war on drugs, cartels, terrorism, and more. It's all very Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and you can check it out for yourself below. There's nothing else. The only other information it has is that it hits PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, and PC in about 3 weeks on the 28th. I'm going to play the trailer now.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Here it goes.
Are we at war?
We don't know his name. Money, weapons, intel. He's planning something.
Sergeant McTavish, welcome to the City of Souls. There are few here to uphold the law, and many of those who resist corruption disappear.
Terrorism is good for business. As long as there is a war on terror, there will be no real war on drugs.
We've got bigger problems.
We're not one for one and lost for chaos. We're a team.
I want to know how many they have and where they intend to use them.
Y'all got a clear picture?
All set.
These things take planning and preparation.
These things take violence and timing. I can do both. Go, Johnny! Get out of there!
You're the commander of a foreign terror organization.
I can say the same to you.
Digitally pre-order Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and play the campaign up to a week early.
That's good.
So, what do you think of the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 remake?
It's just like the style of that of the Modern Warfare 2019 game. It's just that it looks much more realistic. Unfortunately, what I don't like about Modern Warfare 2 is that they're not going to have the no Russian or any equivalent like that of the Modern Warfare 2 original.
Yeah.
Now, with the Modern Warfare 2019, they did a mixture of like decide between the mother and the child of the child's death and all, or the mother's death, and that was fucked up on its own accord. But then Modern Warfare 2, what kind of equivalency that it'll have in hindsight to that choice or that volume or expeditiously type of level of graphic content, you know? And I hope that Modern Warfare 2 will have something that's just as good as Modern Warfare 2019. And last time I have any confidence in buying any Call of Duty game was Modern Warfare 2019. Because I looked at the content, I looked at the trailer, I looked at the gaming, it looked great. You know, it had Warzone 3 months later after release. It had special ops that was very challenging at first. But, you know, I'm willing to still play it no matter what. So, but Modern Warfare 2 2022 is going to be a great addition to the Call of Duty franchise. It's going to be something of an epic proportions in my perspective. And you're going to have Modern Warfare Warzone 2, actually, it's called. So, you know, because we got Black Ops Blackout, we got Modern Warfare 2 Warzone, Modern Warfare Warzone, now Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, we're going to call it. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's a shame that they're not going to have the no Russian mission. I know. Well, I mean, you can't yield to other companies, other countries, if they might get offended in entertainment that you're releasing to the citizens.
Yeah.
But they chose not to do it this time. But it does look like it does still look like it'll be interesting even without the no Russian level.
Oh yeah.
So if you're interested in it, it's going to be out for current gen and last gen. So PS4 and Xbox One players will still be able to get it, and it comes out on the 28th, which is just under 3 weeks from today.
Oh yeah.
Ready for the second to final story?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Next, Far Cry 6 Game of the Year Edition will somehow cost $120 despite getting almost no awards. Ubisoft's bundle includes an upcoming expansion and existing DLC as well as Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Even by the loose standards of video game marketing, calling Far Cry 6 one of 2021's Games of the Year was a stretch. But Ubisoft went ahead and did it anyway. It didn't stop there either. The French publisher will also be charging $120 for the spruced-up release of its 2021 sequel. That's the price of 2 Game of the Years, one for each actual Game of the Year mention Far Cry 6 received from some extremely garbled end-of-year list. Store listings officially confirming Far Cry 6 Game of the Year Edition's existence and price recently went live on the PlayStation and Xbox storefronts via VGC. So no, it was not just all some weird fever dream. What will this new version of last year's Cuban Revolution-inspired open-world shooter include exactly? An unannounced expansion called Lost Between Worlds for one, also special guns, outfits, and other existing DLC. Here's Ubisoft's description of the full content. Far Cry 6, Lost Between Worlds coming soon, the Season Pass, 3 DLC episodes, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon Classic Ed, the Vice Pack, the Croc Hunter Pack, and the Jungle Expedition Pack. In case you haven't been keeping up with Far Cry 6's post-launch escapades, it's received rotating weekly missions, 4 new special operations missions, and 3 crossover missions, all of which were free. On the paid DLC front, it received Insanity, featuring Far Cry 3's Boss Montenegro Control, featuring Far Cry 4's Pagan Min, and Collapse, featuring Far Cry 5's Joseph Seed. It's a lot which won't come as a surprise to anyone who's been trying to keep up with the annual flood of Assassin's Creed updates. But how does this all add up to a $120 Game of the Year edition? Well, despite Far Cry 6 being a year old and on clearance at GameStop for $20, it's still $60 on digital storefronts. The Season Pass, which includes all the paid DLC plus Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, is $40. And then there's the new Lost Between Worlds expansion, which will presumably be at least $20. Math. If you already own Far Cry 6 but never touched the DLC, don't worry. Ubisoft will let you upgrade to the Game of the Year edition separately for just $60. Nice. And before you go thinking that this must be the most expensive of Far Cry's version of Far Cry 6 out there, you should know that there is also the Far Cry Anthology Bundle, which nets you Far Cry's 3 through 6, or over 100 hours of blowing up icon-ridden maps for $150. If that sounds like way too much Far Cry, it's because it definitely is. So what do you think of the Game of the Year edition being $120? On one hand, it's really expensive, but on the other hand, they're offering a lot.
Well, $120. It's a lot of money for a game that's basic of its own self. Because Far Cry 6 reviews mentioned that it wasn't it's okay to play, but not as great. So you get a lot of volume, but not the density of that volume per se. In my perspective, as a gamer who wants to have discount opportunities on games and such, I'm willing to spend about $100 at most on this Game of the Year. $120 kind of pushing it, Plus, I already have Far Cry 3, 4, 5, and 6 as a bundle for about $45-50, part of a special package back earlier in the summertime. So it's kind of like, why they didn't do that offer where you include the DLC of each game, Far Cry 3, 4, 5, and 6, for about, $150, $175? I wanted to see something like that. Especially want to include the Game of the Year edition of Far Cry 6. So either $125 for all 4 games with the DLC of Far Cry 6, or you get all the DLCs, all the add-ons for each Far Cry 3, 4, 5, and 6, including Game of the Year of Far Cry 6, for about $150, $175. Now that's an offer that you can't refuse, in a good way, that is. And personally myself, I will not play as much of the Far Cry games anytime soon. Last time I played Far Cry was Far Cry 3. For the Xbox One, obviously, to those who are some of my recordings earlier in summertime. Did that for about an hour. It was alright. It's not my big cup of tea of the game, but I'll play it for whenever I can. Personally, myself, I will, spend about, I already spent $50-45 for the 3, 4, 5, and 6. So, I can't buy any more Far Cry games for the time being. So, it's too much to ask it for still.
Yeah, especially if you can get the physical version for $20 for crying out loud.
Who really needs all those add-ons and DLC for the Far Cry 6?
Yeah.
And you already have on a discount for those 4 games I mentioned. Like, hello, Xbox and my PS store. Like you guys gotta remember, people just bought $50 of Far Cry games for the Xbox One. So it's you can't just keep making people dish out more money like that. That's just unfair.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot of money. They're offering a lot, but it really depends on what you already have and what you don't already have.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be spending any if I don't have the money, but I wouldn't. There's not enough there because Far Cry 3. Really didn't know where to go. I rescued one friend, and I had to go in this underwater cave, and I got lost there. That's my experience with Far Cry 3. 4 or 5 I never played, so I don't know if I would like that.
Right.
So the Anthology Pack and the Game of the Year expansion pack is a lot to me, and it's quite a big gamble because I don't know how I would feel about 4 or 5, especially when I think both 4 and 5 are on Game Pass.
And they're on sale for all 4 games for about $50 on sale. So
yes, so it's quite a lot. There are cheaper alternatives, but if you have all the games, or you don't have the games but you like them, and you got the money to spend, it's a lot of money, but it's out there.
Oh yeah.
Before we continue on the final thing, your picture on Discord has frozen.
Yeah, I stayed with you for the last several months, so I don't know why Discord has acted up still after all these months with you and I as talking through Discord. So
okay, so we'll just deal with it.
Yeah, of course.
All right. There's one more. There's one more thing I want to bring up tonight. Review Tech USA. If you watch him on YouTube, he made a video. Basically, the one I'm referencing is where he told game companies or developers to stop making games for Xbox One and PS4 because those systems are almost a decade old.
Yeah.
Now, he mentioned a couple points, some I agree with, some I don't agree with. The point he made that I agree with is sacrificing games for systems that are a decade old is ridiculous when they should just be new console exclusive. I agree with that. But the thing is, Gotham Knights already did that. They said their game was going to be drastically held back if they had to make a PS4, Xbox One version.
Yeah.
That's why they canceled it. That's why it's PS5, Xbox Series only. So game companies are doing that. But to say, this is in the past, game companies have already moved on to the new hardware by this point. That's if it can be made for the older consoles and not drastically held back or not scaled back in any way. Why not make it for the older consoles? Because the last couple of years have been anything except routine. In 2020, we had the pandemic, which delayed the PS5 and Xbox Series coming out.
Right.
And now we're heading into a recession in the United States, or we're already in a recession. So it's kind of like you can look back to the PS3 when the PS4 came out. You can look back, but I mean, people haven't been able to get PS5 or Xbox Series as much as they want to because of scalpers and because of the price.
Right.
So a lot of people that would have had the system if this had been normal the last 2 years don't have it and don't have the money to get it. And why not offer the games to people who have the older hardware if the game can run just fine on older hardware?
Oh yeah.
And that's where I disagree with Review Tech USA. So I think he's wrong. I think you can look back at history and say, they've never stuck around with older hardware this long. But the last 2 years have been anything besides ordinary. Now that all states have reopened and are trying to get back in the routine of things, that doesn't mean the last 2 years haven't been extremely different from years past.
Oh yeah.
Do you agree? Anything you disagree with?
I think we mentioned this earlier tonight. We're learning about how every 5 to 10 years of the game system's life cycle, the last 2 years of that life cycle of that game or that previous generation game will be still relevant because the fact that you can still release games on the first 2 years of its release of the similar content for the new systems that came out for the first 2 years of that cycle alone. So this is a trend that's starting to happen since the Xbox 360 into Xbox One, when, like I mentioned with Black Ops 3, where it's like you can buy Black Ops 3 for the Xbox 360 as well as for the Xbox One, and PS4 for the PS3, and such and so on and so forth. That was within the first 2 years. I, for one, saw this event occurring when I went to my Grand Central Station in Manhattan of New York City, where they shared advertisement of the matter at the subway turnstiles. So that's how I knew about the Black Ops 3 was going to be like that during that cycle. So it's the same with Modern Warfare 2022, and I'm sure whatever the next Call of Duty or any other major game release comes out for the next newest game out system, that's what's going to happen again. It's a very good pattern to have after a while, because not everyone's going to be on board or able to afford the newer system or the new system altogether. So why not keep peddling the old system for comfort if it's last couple of years to 3 years at the max, and then make profits in the long term eventually. So that's not bad,
And when I'm saying, if the game is going to be scaled back, okay, make it new console exclusive. But but if it's not going to be scaled back on the previous consoles because the previous consoles are powerful enough to run it, what's the thing? And the thing is, listen, PS5s and Xbox Series, they're still hard to get. They're not as hard when they first came out, but it's still not easy.
And I heard too with PS5 or PlayStation 5, specifically with PlayStation, you have to have a written or a ticket to buy the product. So it's not about you giving guarantee to buy the product, but you need to have permission and also a written on record permission to actually buy the console. So that's actually some privileged party right there going on with Sony right there. So that's bad on their part for what they did back in the first couple of years, or at least the first few months of its release of PS5. So,
well, I think they were trying to get around bots and people scalpers basically.
Well, we never had that problem back with PS4, and the PS4 was not, during the time, it was the internet was prevalent, with it.
Yeah, it was 2014. I mean,
2013 more exact, but still,
Really? I thought it was 2014.
That was 2013. Xbox One and PS4 came out. Because that's the thing. I was working at the movie theater, snack bar kind of person, and we were talking about that matter with one of my coworkers. So,
I'm sorry, I have to look it up because if it was 2013, I don't know why I didn't buy it.
Well, I didn't buy it because I didn't have the money.
No, well, in 2013, I was still working my full-time job. I didn't get released from that full-time job till October of 2014.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I'm saying I would have definitely had the money to buy it if it came out in 2013, which, November 22nd, 2013. Damn.
Yep.
If I had known, I would have had Xbox One since the beginning.
Yeah, I could have actually saved up to buy the system, but I couldn't stay at that job longer because of, my weight problems started to get a little worse around that time. That's when I was not going to the gym for a few years. So now, for the last 2 or 3 years, I feel much better now. Or at least for the last 6 months, I've been feeling much better now to go to the gym and exercise at home and things that matter. So I'm losing weight gradually, but eventually, it's just betterment for my health and all. Other than that, hopefully over the next few months, losing weight, maybe go back to work fast food if I have to save up for money for pay off my bills, whatever. I can also save up for the PS5 and Review Tech USA himself. He may have its contrariness at times, so he would say one thing out of his mouth one day, and then 5 years later he say something totally different. But it's Review Tech USA, my friends. He's all right. He's a good reporter. He talks about tech news and gaming news for years now, at least 10 years, 15 almost. Full time for the last 7, 8 years for himself. So yeah,
I think he went full time in 2013.
Yeah, 2014, give or take. Yeah. Then he had controversies with Dark Side Phil and 1316 Killer and all. He has a history of being out there and talking about his opinion about gaming. So it's very memorable on his part.
Yeah, nothing against Review Tech USA on my end either. It's just I watched his video, which is how I found his opinion. I'm subscribed to him on YouTube. When I heard his reasoning, I was like, yeah, some of that I agree with, some of that I disagree with.
Yeah. So,
anything else you want to talk about before we end things for tonight?
Well, I just want to say to people, for the last several weeks, I've been trying to be for the last couple weeks, I've been trying to be more frequent with my uploads. I try to upload more than once a week now for the last week and a half. I'll try to upload more sometime this upcoming week, which is next week, to speak in a few minutes because it's midnight almost. And I'll try to do more gameplay. Do more playing of Prince of Persia, Hitman Absolution, and perhaps I'm gonna look for the game as based on what Triple J wants me to do too as well. It's the Men in Black video game as well. So if I can find that game Men in Black, that'd be great. It's still somewhere in my room around here, all my piles of games and all, and you'll see more of my me gameplay for the next few days, hopefully. So
our next podcast will be on October 22nd at 9 p.m. Starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's 2 weeks from tonight. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Follow me if you did. These will be uploaded to BitChute. These clips will, well, some clips will be uploaded to BitChute over the next couple of weeks. And obviously, I'm going to try to make sure I'm streaming Sunday night. Don't know what it'll be. I have thought about doing a Madden night, because since I have Madden 22.
Yeah.
Just see how people like that, because I've always gotten a good audience with Madden when Madden was the game I was playing. But until tomorrow night, hopefully to see you there, and subscribe to me on BitChute so you don't miss anything I do over there.
Oh, yeah.
So until next time, good night, everyone.
Goodbye.